sure you've heard of the age-old debate. What is the safest anime world to live in? Many have said Pokemon, Naruto, My Hero Academia, disgusting, and Yu-Gi-Oh! But you know what all these have in common? They're all wrong. Today I'm going to answer that question once and for all and find the safest anime world to live in. Firstly, I want to have some ground rules. The world has to be different from Earth in some way, so that means no slice of life because that's basically a cheat. So pretty much it just has to have some twist, such as Pokemon with the monsters or One Piece with the devil fruits. And that's the only rule, so I don't know why I just did this whole bit. Anyways, I want to debunk some of the popular choices. Naruto would suck to live in because of all the villains, and if you're a normal person who doesn't know any ninja stuff, then you're dead. I mean, for one, that Ten Tails dude has the power to destroy the world, so I don't think you're surviving that one, buddy. Next is My Hero Academia. The chance of you being born with a really good power is all up to chance. For all I know, you could have the power of being able to eat twice as much as the average person. You gotta remember, no crazy power is promised to you if you spawn here. And finally, Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know much about this anime other than they play with cards. So what if you did spawn in this world and you didn't know how to play the card game? Well, you'd actually be screwed. I want to give an honorable mention to Attack on Titan. To anyone who's ever thought this would be a good world to live in, then you're mistaken, no matter which side you're on. If you're born an Eldian, then the whole world hates you, and you're hunted by Titans. If you're born in Marley, you're gonna die at some point anyway due to the rumbling. Okay, now for my picks for the best worlds to live in. I have 4 choices, and before I get hate for my choices, I have not seen every anime ever made, okay? This is purely based off of anime I'm familiar with / have watched. And at number 1 is Re:Zero. This is gonna sound like an insane take, but hear me out. No matter how brutal and dangerous this world is, which it very much is, even if you die, you come back to life. Think about that. In that case, it's safer than our world, because what's safer than a world without death? Now that's not to say it won't be painful, just look how Subaru dies throughout the anime, but at least the world seems happy, and he gets to hang out with nice people. Death Note is my second choice, which once again sounds crazy right off the bat until you think about it a little bit more. You'd be a normal person in this world, and as long as you aren't a criminal, Light would have no reason to use the Death Note on you, unless you try to interfere with his plans and be some kind of hero. My advice would be just to lay low and live an average life. I'm sure anyone who does this is gonna survive in the Death Note world. One Piece is my third option, and I know, big shock, the One Piece guy picking the dumb pirate show for the safest anime world. But I do think it's very safe, as well as fun to live in. Once again, average people aren't going to be taken advantage of or hunted down by the government, but that's depending on where you live. Off the Grand Line in the North, South, East, and West Blues, no one's going to harm a little village besides the occasional low-level pirate. If you are scared of those one-level crooks, then spend your time training to fight, and when the villains do arrive, beat them up. And who knows, maybe you'll live in a lucky spot and you can get your hands on a devil fruit. Now I'll tell you one thing, it won't be safe if you're average and living on the Grand Line, because in that case, an average person would die pretty fast. But if you're in that situation, I would join the Marines and work my way up in the ranks. And then you would have the power of admirals and vice admirals on your side, as well as hundreds of battleships. But that's not to say you might do some corrupt things if you do join the government. The riskier but possibly higher reward option would be becoming a pirate, which is only a good choice if you have a devil fruit or friends with people who have strong devil fruits. Or just be crafty like Usopp and have all these crazy weapons to fend people off. To basically sum up everything I said, live a quiet life, or become a Marine, or become a pirate. But become a pirate in the Grand Line, okay? Not the New World. No way a loser is making it through that. Finally, my last choice is Detective Conan. This is kind of similar to Pokemon, but a bit more realistic. This is pretty much Earth 1-to-1, the only difference being a poison that can turn adults into kids, which is what happens to the main character in the anime. While there are criminals in this world, there aren't really killers in this world because this is a kid's show. I also saw someone make an argument in a Reddit post that time moves really slow in this universe because the main character has been 17 for like 3 decades. So if you want to live longer and a happy life, go to this world. It's that simple. Just live a normal life, man. Don't like try to be a detective or anything. You'll be fine. I know I didn't mention Pokemon, but that just feels like a cheap way out. Of course, the world with kids catching animals and balls is going to be the safest. But what if that's just what we see? Because you realize Pokemon only takes place in first world countries like Japan, the US, UK, and France. We don't see the dark side of this world. What if there's terrible wars and slavery, and we just never see that? Everything seems fine, but we're just blinded. My conspiracy is that the citizens of the Pokemon world are living in the simulation, and everyone in this world is on drugs to think life is all happy and great. But really, the world is filled with pain and suffering, and those cute little Pokemon are actually demons. Okay, that's enough, guys. Those were my picks for the safest anime worlds. Comment down below which ones you would pick. Thanks for watching as always. Love you guys.